Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, everyone, we are back with another edition of the Diehard Football Podcast. Yeah, normally we do it on Fridays, but we're trying something out, moving it to Mondays. So I am here with Dirk. How you doing today?
Okay, yeah. Hopefully the Monday time frame will maybe attract more people because we can go over the previous week's games and have a little Monday morning type quarterback discussions. You know, the games will all be fresh in our minds and stuff. So let's see if we can invite all your friends to listen and watch.
Yeah. So the preseason's in the book. Finally, we get to, in about a week or so, get some real games in, and the, I guess, evaluation process is over. What do you think of the overall preseason?
Some teams it's good. Some teams I don't understand. Me as a Cowboy fan, I don't understand how they run it. It's like they don't even try to win a game. If they play starters, they get them out as quick as they can and put in a bunch of subs, so you can't really tell how they are. The Jaguars and the Texans, first and second squad looked good against the Cowboys, third, fourth, fifth, whatever squad. So you can't really tell on anything. Teams that aren't good will play starters more. But, personally, some teams don't care about the win. I'd like to see that, if you're a fan of your team, you would like to see your team try to win one preseason game. There's something to be said about a winning culture. I know Jimmy Johnson years and years ago, they went 0-5 and then they won the Super Bowl. Okay. That never happens really. That was a fluke, but I'll bet you them 0-5 games were a lot better to watch if you're interested in watching it than they were this year. I watched a couple of games, not the whole game, and it was just so sloppy and everything because half the guys you're watching don't even be on the team. They'll be on other teams or not playing football. So it's they're doing the right thing. I think what will happen when they get to 18 games, which I think will happen pretty quick, they'll have 2 tune-up preseason games, and then boom, go right into the regular season. Let's get it going, and things like that. As far as the Cowboys, Micah Parsons looks like advertised.
He's looking good.
Backers were looking good. Some of the, defensive backs look good. They had a couple of picks here and there. So, I think the defense on the Cowboys does look better with DQ, Dan Quinn running it. They seem to have more purpose, and it looks like they know what they're doing versus last year when they didn't at all.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Even for a minute.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we know Dak's going to be the quarterback, but out of the quarterbacks you saw last night, I think it was Gilbert, Rush, and DiNucci. Well, we're not going to put DiNucci in. Who do you think is going to be the backup?
It'll probably be Cooper Rush. He's never really impressed me. He does have a big arm. Garrett Gilbert has been in the league a couple of years, as has Cooper Rush. Garrett Gilbert longer, I think is his 7th or 8th league. And when he did come in last year a couple of times, he looked okay. It's going to be one of them two. DiNucci, I think what they're going to do is release him and then hopefully sign him to the practice squad or something. He has something. I don't know what it is. He has a funky throwing motion. but he
Yeah.
gets rid of the ball quick. He's really fast, so he can scramble around. So I don't know, about him. He might be more of a project than, I think they really wasted a pick on him because there's probably other quarterbacks that have more fundamental skills. But when he was playing for James Madison, he set school records and everything. And yeah, it's not, Division I, but still he had something. So that's probably why they drafted him, I'm guessing. So Cooper Rush, Garrett Gilbert, flip a
And I
coin.
think,
I don't know.
and I feel like they're going to get rid of Danucci or put him on a practice squad or something.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they're going to
just out release
keep
him, The practice squad is bigger this year. I think there's 10 or 12 allowed, so they could have room to keep him if they have an interest. There's plenty of other quarterbacks around that if you have to go pick up somebody, if one of them two backups gets hurt, hopefully not Dak, but there's guys out there, that have been in the NFL that aren't gonna hurt you, that are veterans. So we'll see on that.
Some quarterback spots were filled. You got Jameis Winston, named as Saints quarterback. I think Andy Dalton's set for the Bears, and Teddy Bridgewater, with Denver. Do you think who do you think is going to be the first one, to be benched?
Yeah, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, Jameis or Teddy Bridgewater. Honestly, I think it's going to be Cam, and then in this order: Cam, Jameis, Andy, then Teddy. Okay, Jameis, as soon as he throws a 3-interception game, he'll be in there. Cam, as soon as he just can't, if they start out 0-3, I think you'll see Mac in there. Andy Dalton at the Bears. Now, we all know what he is. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's above average quarterback. He's had good numbers over his career. He's not old, 33 or so, steady, a good leader. Justin Fields, though, has kind of lit it up in the preseason. So maybe if the Bears start out 0-2, people are going to be yelling. Teddy Bridgewater in Denver, they've got a good team. They just need a quarterback. So I think he can turn his career around. He was in a bad situation last year. But, you remember when he was a rookie, he was really good. Then he had that bad injury.
Right.
Never quite came back the same. Then he bounced around. He ended up in New Orleans, came in for when Drew Brees was hurt one time, played a couple of really good games. He's shown flashes. He just hasn't been on a good team. North Carolina last year, that was a horrible team, and, so he obviously didn't have good numbers. But I think he's got the ability to. Who knows what he can do in Denver? It's wait and see. I did, speaking of rookie quarterbacks and other, Trevor Lawrence had a really good day yesterday against the Cowboys, 11-12. So and touchdown. Sam Darnold played well for Carolina yesterday. He was like 12 of 15 for like 150 yards. Maybe he turned his career around. He's in a good spot for him because the whole team is bad and they're drafting and they got to come up. He's young enough. Maybe he can fulfill his number one draft pick promise. He never showed anything as a starter for the Jets, who are another bad team.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes like Sam Darnold, he'd play good in preseason, but then I don't know, something about the regular season, he kind of mishandles things, and don't work too well. You
Yeah, and
think?
the preseason can be misleading too, because sometimes a bad team, they'll leave their starters in there longer just to get cohesiveness together. So they'll be playing the third and fourth string of the other team, so then they might look good, which to me, no matter who you play against, if you're playing well, it can only boost your confidence a little bit. And that might help them be better against when they play the first and second string guys.
You think Mac Jones is going to start Week 1 for New England, or you think it's going to
No,
be
it's going to
Cam?
be Cam. Cam's
That's what
already
I'm
the
thinking.
starter. Yeah, I'd give it like 3 games or so. If Cam is just not performing, if they start 0-3, I'd expect him to get in there. Who knows? Maybe 0-2 if he's so bad. Cam doesn't have the arm he used to have, so I don't think
No, he doesn't.
respect it. He'll get his runs in. He's still big and fast. He just doesn't have the arm strength anymore from those shoulder injuries a couple of years ago, and it's obvious. You try and watch him throw a ball deep. He really doesn't.
Yeah, after that Super Bowl, he had with Denver, and maybe a little bit before that, he just wasn't the same. I don't know. It's going to be interesting who is going to start. I do believe it's going to be Cam, but Belichick's not saying anything.
Nah, he won't. He's going to be
We all
Belichick.
know.
Yeah. Other quarterback news, Deshaun Watson has been linked, a lot of rumors, to the Dolphins. That's really, really a weird thing. They're still going to want a couple of number ones and more for him. And who knows how long the legal process will take. It could drag on all year. And then suppose they give all that up, get him. And then Tua, he was a number 1 pick, and he's from Alabama, suppose, he wasn't great last year, but he wasn't awful, and plus that is a year coming back from a severe hip injury in college. So maybe a real training camp in his favor, maybe he's better. I don't know. But Dolphins aren't a bad team. They're not like the Texans or the Jaguars or one of those guys. They're a team that can play 500, and they do have some weapons. They've got some guys on defense. They're just in the AFC East. That's their only problem.
Yeah.
Which is
I think too they shouldn't have traded Fitzpatrick, to Washington or any other team, because I felt like they had a good thing going, as a reliever kind of player. Now you just got Tua, which I'm not sure if he's really the player you wanted as your quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know who their other QB is. Fitzpatrick, he's like 38, 39. He's had great moments in his career. He's really made his mark as a backup coming in. When he's been named the starter, he's started out well sometimes, but he just, for whatever season, other teams figure him out throughout the season. But if you need a guy to start 3 games, he seems to be the guy all the time that can come in there for 3 or 4 games and light it up. He's one of them weird guys. I'd have liked to somehow if the Cowboys got him as a backup.
Yeah.
But he's on Washington, and so they've got their own little issues as well, except they've got a really, really good defense. So they're going to be okay, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. It's let's see. Doesn't say Tua's Also, been a rumor that the Broncos are on the sides of that Deshaun Watson rumor, and so are the Eagles. But I think they're probably out of that. They just want too much.
Speaking of the Eagles, what do you think of Minshew going to Philadelphia? Jacksonville trading him.
Yeah, well, good trade for Jacksonville. What did they get here? I just read that.
I think it's a fifth-round pick. A fifth-round pick.
And
or a sixth-round pick, and I think it could be a fifth-rounder. Something like that.
Yeah, it's he's been good at points in his career. I think this could be another situation like where we started the show. Jalen Hurts, if he doesn't show that he can handle it, they got a 3-4 year veteran in Minshew who has produced in the past. And but again, this is Jalen Hurts' first real preseason. He was a phenomenal athlete, at Alabama and in Oklahoma. He didn't look like the same kind of guy last year. So maybe a real training camp would help him. It's that's a wait and see, but I think Philadelphia kind of got some good insurance there without giving up a real high draft pick. I would have thought he would have maybe got a little more or something, maybe even a fourth. But that's just the way it is.
Do you feel like the Eagles still believe in Hurts, even though they signed Minshew, or do you think that Hurts?
No, I think they signed Minshew just because the deal was there and they weren't asking a lot. I think it was a good trade for both sides. Maybe Philadelphia got a little bit better of it. If it's a fifth, but he's somebody that's capable. So that helps Philadelphia. And, Jacksonville, they need all the draft picks they can get, so they pick another one. And, that's where you find other players in them later rounds too, keep in mind, Brady was a 6th round pick.
Yeah. And no one
Minshew doesn't suck. He's not going to be worse than Hurts, if they have to flip flop him, he's not going to be worse. He's a different kind of a quarterback, more of a regular drop back, run here and there, but passer Hurts can run and stuff. And he's just got to get accurate with the pass. He's got a strong arm. He just wasn't accurate last year. Barely 50%. So he's got to, maybe because he's running for his life, because Philadelphia also last year, they didn't have their whole offensive line like half the other teams in the league. So quarterback was running, and he's a rookie, and he's trying to think, and everything's fast. Who knows?
No, I mean, Minshew wasn't bad. He had good numbers as a starter, I thought. What do you think?
He's had good success as a starter, going back to when Jacksonville had Bortles, I think that's when he was a rookie. He came there that one year, and he had the mustache and he had all this kind of gimmicky things, but, they're like, he was pretty good, and so,
and
we'll
thought
see.
What about? I think I heard J.K. Dobbs has been injured. He was a Ravens running back.
Yep. The fantasy football guys are scrambling right now.
Yeah.
That's what you hate to see. You have your fantasy football draft. My draft, we had it a week early for whatever reason. And so, that's why you always have it the week before games start, so somebody doesn't get hurt on the and he's out for the year, I believe. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I did pick up Michael Thomas. He's on the PUP list right now, but he's supposed to be back at week 7 or 8 or something like that. And so I'll put that in my back pocket on my team, and hopefully I can maintain. I might be 0-6 by then. My fantasy team.
I mean, fantasy football can be, I don't know, you have to watch your lineups and and see when players are on bye weeks and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Ravens could get like a Todd Gurley or just use somebody they already got?
I think the way their offense is, I think if they get another good, another solid, they probably have some running backs on their squad. They're going to be good. They're a running team because the quarterback runs. So as long as their offensive line is good, they should be okay. It's not like he's, Derrick Henry or, one of the top 5 guys. I almost said Zeke, but I'm going to wait and see on him.
Yeah, I didn't. I would.
Yeah, Todd Gurley, it's like running backs. Todd Gurley hasn't been productive in 2 years now, and he's at that age. Running backs, when they lose it, they usually don't get it back. There's not too many Mark Ingrams, who's just been not a Pro Bowl running back, but just good, gets 800 or 900 yards every year, and he's getting older. And Frank Gore, I don't even know if he's in the league this year. He's the 3rd leading rusher in NFL history. When you would have never thought that. That guy's blown out. He's blown his knees out more than Adrian Peterson has.
Oh.
And he's always come back and been strong, and just this to see, whatever the running back, they do. It's this is going to be a strange year, I think, because we're coming out of the COVID sort of, but now a lot of, right before the games this weekend, all of a sudden, even the Cowboys, if they're around somebody with COVID, they got to report it, and then they got to sit out for 5 to 10 days. Cole Beasley, him and his teammate got fined. Cole Beasley doesn't believe in the vaccination, anything like that. Well, now he's paying whatever, $50 because he didn't get it, and he's missing a game, possibly, and that's a game check. So, which, hurts the team. I haven't heard anything further on that. It was just in the news for a couple days.
Mm-hmm. When do you think Justin Fields will start?
It depends how they go. If Andy's doing a good job, if he's playing like Andy Dalton can play, something would have to happen for Fields to start. The Bears would just have to be losing games. But if Andy Dalton played, like he did with the Bengals, and for at the end of last year with the Cowboys, once he got his feet under him, he played pretty well. There's nothing that says a number 1 draft pick has to play. They only emphasize that more because of money, But Mahomes sat behind a very smart quarterback for a year with Alex Smith, and I think that helped Patrick to get the smarts. It doesn't hurt a guy if the team's doing well and they got a veteran quarterback there and he's doing well. Andy Dalton's a smart guy. He's been a good quarterback in his career. He's had 4,000-yard passing seasons, high quarterback ratings. He's got a lot of info to give. If He's got a 2-year deal. So this year he starts, and then maybe next year Justin Fields improves, and, Andy's willing to take a back seat to him. That could be good, because,
I think so.
thing like that. I'm always nervous when a guy is number one and is a quarterback and he starts. You got so much more in the NFL to worry about as a quarterback. Everything's faster. In college, this is what happened with Tim Tebow. In college, he was great because there was only one or two guys on the other team that were covering his wide receivers that maybe would make an NFL roster. His wide receivers were NFL-type players. So they got so wide, he would throw the ball downfield. It's not on target, but they just ran and got it, But now everybody in the NFL was the best player on their college team, and they're all fast. So if you hesitate a quarter of a second, you're going to get picked or the ball's not going to be complete. The game is so much faster. And, you see coaches say that, and all the analysts will say that. It's, it's just a fact. Nobody's, a running back can come in and play well because it's simple. It's not as simple as I'm going to say it. They just come in, here's the whole, ABC, pick one and go for it, a little easier for them, linebackers react, rookies may be great, but they will make mistakes because the offensive guys know how to trick them. The quarterback is it's the hardest position on the field, so it's hard to step in and be good. And honestly, I think if you put a rookie in there, even though he's a number one pick, and he fails like Sam Darnold did in New York, we'll see how he does with Carolina, but maybe that gets in his head and he's never good again, whereas if he had been a backup to a smart, good quarterback for a year and learned the position like they used to do, his whole career could be different, It's a money game with all sports now. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is. Do you think Cleveland's going to have another successful year like they did last year?
I see no reason why not. You got Nick Chubb at running back. You got Myles Garrett. They've got a really good defense. Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. He's going to get better. He's figuring it out as he goes along. I think he's learning he can't run wild like he did in college, but, he's not going to be a top 10 quarterback, but, middle 15, somewhere in there. And, if he, could get them going, they should win more games than they lose. They should be in the playoff hunt, That wasn't a fluke last year. They didn't get lucky wins. They earned them, and they were hard-fought wins, as they went through. They went through a kind of a down stretch for a couple of games, and then they came back and they went into the playoffs, And I think Baker's a very capable quarterback,
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Chubb is one of the top 5 runners in the league. Their wide receiver core is good. Defense is good. They'll be good. I'm happy for the Browns fans. So many years of being bad. They've got something to cheer on now, and they should build on it.
Right, yeah. I think they will. Their first game was from their last preseason or their last game of the year. I think it was the postseason game against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be their first game. And how do you think the Browns will do at that one? Do you think they'll get their revenge or?
Kansas City's really good. If you're a Browns fan, hopefully you shouldn't get blown out, but it is Kansas City. All it takes is a couple of mistakes, and they have improved their offensive line, which was probably their only relative weakness that the Buccaneers exposed in the Super Bowl, but they drafted there. They got a couple of their linemen were out and they're back. So they should be fine. Much like us Cowboys going against the Buccaneers, the Browns going against the Chiefs. Of course, you'd like to see a win, but
I would,
you'd
yeah.
like to see a good game. If they're within striking distance as the game rolls on, okay. If they can pull one out, good. You just don't want them to see and then lose 35-3.
No, I don't want that.
Good. They should be. They're a better team than that. They should give Kansas City a fight, and I'm sure Kansas City isn't looking at him as a pushover. They're good now.
Yeah. I mean, when they had Mahomes, added on to their roster, they were really good. They became really good, and you could say it was because of Alex Smith, and it was partly because of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kansas City also has one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in the league, so that helps a lot.
It does help a lot.
I think Reed and Arians and Belichick, maybe Carroll, Seattle, he has a way with his team.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams head coach.
McVay.
Yeah, McVay. He's good. He's young. He's kind of that trend. I'm not going to put McCarthy up there.
No.
But McCarthy is a good, experienced coach, so let's see what he does. All them left coast teams, the Chargers, the Rams, even the 49ers should rebound. They've all got relatively young coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, Pete Carroll, he's like 68 or 69. He looks like 48. That's just what it means. You got Chucky over there in Las Vegas. I think this is a year where he's a make it or break it, but they got a pretty good team. The Raiders are pretty good. David Carr is a good quarterback, so they should be okay.
I think they will be. It just, this is like the rebound, the first year with fans, like full attendance fans, and they didn't see, these teams last year because of the restrictions. So it's going to be interesting how things go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there any other games you're looking forward to?
Not right off. I just like the first game. Kind of glad the Cowboys and Buccaneers got that Thursday night all to themselves. That should be good. I'll be down at my little watering hole in my Cowboys gear.
Right, yeah.
Cheering them on. And,
Tampa Bay is going to be a tough place to, play. Tampa Bay is going to be a tough place to play, I think.
Yeah, it will be. Maybe they'll have a little bit of a Super Bowl lag. Who knows? But Brady's the quarterback, so he more than likely won't let that happen. But if there was a time that they're going to do it, it would be opening day. I'd rather play them early than late because Arians and Brady, especially Brady, knows how to ramp up for the playoffs. And you look at the past, 20 years he's been playing, he always gets better as the season goes on. It's always, he's always full speed come playoff time. Maybe the Cowboys can catch him in that, maybe not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to catch up. He's been playing for a while, and You think this is going to be Brady's final year, or you think he's going
You
to
know,
play another year?
there's people that I would love to see. I think it'd be funny. I'd love to see him play at 50 years old. He's in fantastic shape. He takes care of his body. You know, he doesn't have any nagging injuries. He doesn't have shoulder issues. He doesn't have ankle issues. Not a fast runner. Never has been. You know, and that's the only thing that's going to stop him is age and an injury. I think that's what got Drew Brees. Once he got that rib injury last year, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be sore again. He goes, what? I can still walk and play with my kids. Good. I'm done. He could have probably played another year or two as well. But, you know, the last couple of years, he's been a little nicked up, and that never really happened to him, you know, aside from real early in his career.
Right.
Brady had that 1 year early on in his career in the early 2000s where Castle came on and he became somewhat of a star. And, you know, he hasn't ever really been hurt. No arm issues. You know, Peyton Manning retired because he had no arm left, you know. And
right.
He had the neck surgery, and that probably attributed to his arm. He probably couldn't put everything into a throw, but he was such a smart quarterback. You know, he finished good. You know, he won the Super Bowl his last year, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You know, and he's like, you know what? Good times.
Yeah, and he's
what about that show Peyton and Eli are going to do?
I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah,
it should be. And they're not going to do it all the time, evidently. It's going to be once every couple weeks or something.
Yeah, I think 10 games.
Yeah. And like the networks have been asking Peyton Manning to be a color guy like Tony Romo and such, right? But he has said several times he doesn't want to talk about his brother in a game, so that's done. He doesn't want to talk about Brady, and he's still playing, and he doesn't want to talk about Breeze because they're all good friends and brothers. He doesn't want to have to criticize them if he needs to. So who knows? Maybe in 5 years when all of them are done, maybe he'll do it. He's a pretty funny guy. I'm sure most of us have seen him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And he's playing with 8-year-old kids, and he's drilling them fastballs, you know, and you're yelling at him, why don't you catch it? I hit you in the hands, you know, and the kids crying and everything.
Yeah, he hits him in the head, and he's like, ow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even Eli's got a little bit of something, you know, so as brothers, maybe they and maybe they can even get their other brother Cooper to come in on there too.
Yeah, I've seen him not broadcast games, but you know, do like the pregame stuff for Fox, and he's pretty good with it. And I think he could be, you know, in the pregame role more. I don't know if he wants to do like the broadcasting in a booth, but
we're just doing something. You know, we're here in San Francisco and part of the 49er, and then go over some history about what something, you know, maybe talk about Joe Montana years or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Peyton definitely does have the personality for TV, you know.
He does.
You know, I mean, even if you watch the Hall of Fame weekend when he was on camera, he's pretty engaging. He's definitely got a personality made for TV, you know.
Yeah. So I think he does, and he's done the game show and you know, thing with his, not Eli, but with Cooper, and I don't know, maybe Cooper Manning is not the best game show host, but
he's known as Peyton's brother, but and Eli's brother, but the name is familiar if you know football. Okay.
Yeah. I think we covered all of it, don't you think?
Yeah, we're just in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
Because there's no games this weekend. We got, what is it? 10 days till Cowboys, 9 or 10 days till next Thursday. And I'm sure some things will transpire. Maybe Deshaun Watson will get traded. We'll hear, of course, there's going to be cuts. Today is the day the team's got to go from 80 to 53. So
yeah, I think today and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll know more about that later, and maybe next week we could talk about some of the surprises that made a team and some of the surprise cuts, and then kind of go over the first week of games, and things like that. Okay.
That sounds good. Before we head out, 30 to 45 seconds, anything you want to say?
I want it to get cool.
Yeah. It is warm in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be 95 through the rest of the week. And this is Texas it could be through the middle of October, so who knows?
Who knows?
It's the way it is here in Texas.
Yeah. And, just make sure to watch the network for more shows. For the people that are in New Orleans and in Mississippi, hope you guys are safe. I know they had hurricanes down there, and I know the Saints are down here, at the stadium, practicing, and they'll probably be here this week. So, but for those that did stay up in New Orleans and all that,
prayers
hope
for
you guys are
everybody
safe.
in New Orleans, Louisiana. Stay high, stay dry. Get out of your house. Don't take a chance. Be safe. Okay. I know here in Texas, there's already people going down there with boats and supplies and medical things. Everybody's all ginned up. We did it for Harvey. We did it for Katrina. We all help, so we'll do that.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next week, Monday around 4 p.m. Central. Until then, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay.